How do I find the best realtor near me? If you're asking that question, you're one of 135,000 people a month who are wondering the very thing, and they go to Google and ask that very question. Now, when you're thinking about how do I hire the best realtor, or how do I find the best realtor, or what is the best realtor around me, you really need to think about, am I really leaning towards finding someone who can help me buy, or am I leaning towards finding someone who can help me sell? Because truly the best realtor near you is probably going to be different whether you're buying or whether you're selling. So let's talk for a minute about what makes a great buyer's agent. And here's a couple things that I found are really important in how we help buyers. For one, you're going to want somebody who has pretty good market knowledge in that local area. There's going to be different houses. There's going to be different issues. There might even be specialty products that they know about that are worth more or worth less. So you want somebody that has the inside track knowledge on the area and the types of homes that are there. Speaking of inside track, you want people who know people in an area. So if they know about neighbors or if they have clients that already live in that area, they're going to know about the listings that come on the market before anyone else does. So you want people with inside track to those opportunities so that in a competitive market, you're getting to see it first and maybe even before it hits the market. This can also be true if they already have listings in the area and maybe their sellers are wanting to sell off market. That's a cool opportunity. So inside track on both the properties and on the people in the area. One of the things that's super important too is not just that someone can find you a house, because honestly, most buyers can find their own house. So you've got somebody that can help you evaluate the pros and cons of the house and what the issues are locally. So whether it's the condition of the roof, the condition of the HVAC, the foundation, the plumbing, the electrical, or any of the other major systems, or whether it's just that the floor plan or the way the house is situated might have plus or minus value because of how it appeals to other buyers, you want them to help you evaluate the value and the condition of the home as a buyer's agent. And to me, that's more valuable than just opening a door. So make sure you get a buyer's agent that has local knowledge and property knowledge. Okay, the other thing you want in a buyer's agent is an offer writing formula. An offer writing formula is knowing how to structure the offer based on how competitive the market is, the specific property is, or how long it's been on the market for. If there's a property that's been sitting for a while, or the house hasn't had a lot of activity, or maybe it's overpriced, you want a realtor that's going to be aggressive in their offer writing formula to get you the best deal and the most closing cost assistance. If there's a house that's brand new on the market, it's competitive, and they know that they need to move quickly, they need to know how to use specific structures in the contract and the add-ons, as well as rapport with the agent to be able to get you that win. And I know that many times, small things that we chose to do in how we wrote offers and how we negotiated with the other agent got the deal for our client versus not. If your agent's really combative or not very good at building rapport, they're going to have a hard time winning over the listing agent and to see them as see your offer as more favorable than the others. So an offer writing formula, whether it's a competitive market or not a competitive market, both matter in getting you the best deal and also winning. The last thing that you're going to want is somebody who's going to negotiate aggressively for repairs. Now understand, you can't get everything fixed on a resale house, but you want somebody that knows how to both uncover those issues and also leverage them in order to get you the most amount of money and credits or actual repairs on an inspection or for a specific house that you're trying to buy. So make sure you've got a realtor that's got a track record of knowing how to take an inspection report and get extra inspection reports that can then be used to leverage and get you thousands of dollars in closing costs or repair assistance. Okay, let's switch to the seller side. What are you going to do if you're looking to find a seller's agent? Well, it is similar to a buyer's agent. You want someone with an inside track. You want somebody that has access to specific ways of using relationships to sell homes, because one of the best things a seller's agent can do is go pre-market the home to their buyer's list or to other agents in their office. For example, in our local market, we have 3,000 agents in our group of offices, which means that I can go pre-market to my agents before I even take it to the market. And the days on market, which by the way ruins the ability to get a higher price, like the longer something sits on the market, the more people think something's wrong with it and then it's stigmatized. If I can go pre-market to my agents or even my buyer's list, there's a good chance that I can create a frenzy or create energy before it even gets shown on MLS. By the way, if your buyer's agent is part of a big office, they may have access to getting those pre-listing opportunities for you to buy. Now, the other thing that you want in a seller's agent is you want someone who's marketing savvy. So not just that they're going to pre-market or that they've got relationships they can send to ahead of time, they've got to know how to create a frenzy in those first few days on the market, whether it's open house showings or whether it's coming soon signs or doing marketing, maybe Google ads or videos or photos. There's lots of different things we can do to market and get a lot of energy. There's a few specific strategies you can use to make sure that the house shows up higher on the portals as well. And you want to make sure it's showing up in the email of every available buyer in your area. So between all those different strategies, you want someone who's marketing savvy and knows how to get the most amount of people through the house and eyeballs on it in the first 8 days. Another thing you want from a seller's agent is someone who's going to be helpful with repairs, staging, and renovations before you get on the market. Understand that a house that has issues can be a killer of a deal in the middle of the transaction. And the second buyer is almost never willing to pay the same amount the first buyer was. So you want to come in with a house that's in fairly good condition. And if it currently isn't in good condition, or you need to find that out, the agent should be able to get a good inspector in there and tell you what things are going to kill a transaction when a buyer sees it. What things are maybe detracting from the value that a small amount of paint or a small fix or a little bit of renovation would make a big difference in price. And how can we stage so that the house has a perception of value that's higher than it actually is? That's what staging does. In the mind of a buyer, they look at it and they say, wow, this house is really nice. It looks so great. And they're willing to make a higher price, or they're willing to offer faster because their perception of the value of the home is higher. So you want someone who's good at repairs, renovations, and staging when you hire a really great realtor on the seller side. Now, the last thing you're going to want from a seller's realtor, besides the fact that they got to know everybody and be able to connect with lots of people off market, is they have to know how to do strategic pricing. They need to make sure that they're not pricing you too high, and also that they're not missing a major price bracket where people are searching. So make sure that your realtor is able to give you an understanding of how they price, and that they're really savvy and methodical in their pricing. Here's just a few ideas of how you go selecting a buyer or seller realtor. One of the things that other people ask all the time is, how do I find them? Where do I look? So when you're looking online for a buyer realtor or seller realtor, you want to read reviews and you want to Google it, but you want to be careful not to be on a paid search site. There are a number of websites where people pay to be listed higher on those sites. And so you're getting inorganically the person that's not actually the best realtor. You want to find somebody who has a lot of good Google reviews, maybe has a number of Facebook reviews, probably has some Zillow reviews, and may also have some Yelp reviews. Of all those though, I find that the Google and the Zillow ones are most accurate and most likely to pertain to actual clients. So make sure that you're paying attention to how many Google reviews they have. I recommend somebody between 50 and 500. And if they've got less than 50, they may still be good. You just want to find someone that has a decent amount so you can get a good feel. If you've got somebody with 50 5-star plus reviews, you know you're going to have a great experience. Make sure when you're reading the reviews that you pay attention to whether there are a lot of buyers or a lot of sellers. Now, many realtors work with both buyers and sellers, so that doesn't necessarily mean that they're swaying one way or the other. But if you see a lot of reviews that are for the buyers, you may know that they're better at working with buyers. Or if you see someone with a lot of seller reviews, you understand and you can verify that their seller strategy has worked for a lot of other people. So make sure to read those reviews. Just make sure you're skipping ahead of those websites that people are paying, or maybe they've put fake reviews on, and you're not actually getting the best person. Understand too that those websites are pay to play, which means that if they're getting higher up on the ranking, they're paying a percentage of the commission or even a high monthly flat fee to be exposed. And so you don't necessarily want that realtor that's paying so that they can be exposed as the best realtor. You want somebody who is authentically validated by other people. Which brings me to the final point. One of the best realtors you could possibly hire is someone who's recommended by someone you already trust. Now, I would always vet, what was their experience like and how did things go? But a referral from a friend or family member is not a bad idea if you really need to fall back on that. So hopefully our video today gave you a few ideas of how to find the best realtor near you. And if it didn't work and you don't know how to find the person, or you want to validate that, we always do searching for free for our clients within our professional network, and we'll go help you validate someone in any local market. So whether it's in Texas or whether it's somewhere else and you're looking for a realtor near you, we'd be happy to help you do that. Just send us an email, templeton@kw.com, and we'll go searching for the person that we know that might be the best local fit near you for your realtor opportunity. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to talking to you soon.